Hey, you guys, how are you? Welcome to my podcast. Before we even start, I would like to announce that today, September 25th, my comedy album is on iTunes. It has been released. Revenge for the Holocaust. Everyone, please go pick it up. Enjoy the shit out of it. Enjoy it while you're taking a shit. I don't care. Just enjoy it. It's all buried material. It's all stuff I stopped doing as soon as I recorded it. So if you've seen me in the last year, you ain't seen that. I'm really proud of it. Everybody go pick it up and do me a favor. If you like it, if you get it, it's on iTunes. It's called Revenge for the Holocaust. If you like it, or even if you don't, fucking share your opinion with people. Just tell everybody on Twitter, on Facebook, say how much you liked it. Just fucking spread it. Help me hype it up a little bit. Don't say anything wrong. Just share your opinion instead of keeping it to yourself. I want as many people to hear this as possible because I'm done with all this shit. So it's just dead art. I hate calling fucking dick jokes art, but it's my kind of art. And I'm done with it. So I just want to share it with the world. So please let everyone know. Revenge for the Holocaust on iTunes right now. And I'm still giving away 4 free tracks from that CD. If you go to my website, arishafir.com, let's just say arithegreat.com. You go to arithegreat.com and there's a link on the right with a picture of the album, which is a great cover, by the way. You'll see it when you get there. I'll give you 4 tracks. I'll send you. I'll email them to you. So that's something to look forward to. Now let's get back to this episode. The guys from Anonymous came back and we finished off our discussion. Those dudes, man, I'm fucking converted. I didn't know what to make of them before, but now I'm 100% on board. I'm 100% on board. I realize that any sort of fighting I did in my head against Occupy Wall Street or any of these things was me just either saying, poo-pooing someone trying to make a difference when I'm not, or not understanding it enough to realize, oh, they're just looking out for the greater good. And that's what these guys are doing. And you know what? I shouldn't even say these guys. I should say us. That's what those people, us from Anonymous, are doing. We are anonymous. That's what they're saying. They're just us, you guys, and they're looking out for us. Because the people in charge, they're sort of slowly taking away our freedoms. I don't think it's to fucking hurt us into fucking pens in the future. I think it's just because people are corrupt and they want to take money. And the people that were supposed to be there to stop it from happening are corrupt themselves. So they're not going to. So the laws won't protect our fucking, not rights, but laws won't protect what we want out of life. And if the laws won't protect it, or the people in charge of enforcing the laws won't protect it, then yeah, someone else has to come in and step up and say, hey, you asshole who's trying to victimize some other people, you either cut that out, or I'm not even going to do anything bad to you. I'm just going to tell everyone in the world what you've done, and I'll give them your email address to let them know how to tell you how they feel. To me, it seems right. It seems like a good, and it only works if everyone agrees, like, this is an injustice. It doesn't work on like, oh, you picked the Browns -6. We should fucking out you. No, it's only when there's real injustices done. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I know I did. Please spread this episode too. Share it with each other because I think it's important stuff to talk about. I would seriously hope that you guys get into discussions about some of these episodes, but especially this one. Thank you to my sponsors for making this possible. Amazon.com. We have this special deal with Amazon where if you go through my website, if you go to arithegreat.com and click on an Amazon link on the right, that'll take you to Amazon. But if you went through arithegreat.com, then once you're on Amazon, it just registers as you're like referred by me. And then they give me 5% cash back on what you buy. So whatever you buy, I get 5% of that. I don't really understand if that means 5% of what you bought or 5% of their profit, whatever. It doesn't cost you anything extra and it makes me money. And I need shit. I got to get a new computer. This shit is taking forever. I'm restarting it constantly when I'm editing. It'll help this podcast. And, you know, the money I give to guests. Fuck, I forgot to give Tom Segura and Brendan Walsh money. All right, I'll give it to him later. So thank you, Amazon.com. Also, Gamefly.com. If you know what Gamefly is, it's like Netflix for video games. the people who play games know what it is. But the people who don't play, here's what I want from you. Just go and register for a free 15-day trial and then cancel it. And they give me some kizash. That's how black people say cash. They'll just give me cash. Go to gamefly.com/Ari if you want to help me out and just register for a free 15-day trial. Try the games out. Try up a game you wanted to play it, return it, and then cancel your subscription. Or never get a game. And then in 2 days, cancel your subscription. It'll help me buy a new computer so I can get this shit done better. Some dates real quick. I'll be in Indianapolis, September 26th to the 29th. I will be in Phoenix, October 5th with Rogan and Diaz. I will be in La Jolla, California, October 12th and 13th with Renazizi and Simone. I will be at the DC Improv, October 19th, 20th, and 21st. My next storyteller show, This Is Not Happening Presents. I don't know what I'm calling it, but all Halloween stories. Write me in if you have any suggestions. Write to me and tell me what's a good name for Halloween stories. That's October 24th. $5 at the Los Angeles Improv. All the money goes towards Planned Parenthood because I don't want any of it. Just experimental and fun. Then Portland, Helium, October 25th through the 27th. The last night, the 27th, there's a special guest. I shouldn't say who it is, but he does comedy nothing like me. So you might get a kick out of it or you might hate it. Either way, it'll be fun. It's a celebrity. And then November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Calgary and Yuck Yucks. Then Chicago, November 8th with Joey Diaz. Please get tickets at Ticketmaster. It's the House of Blues in Chicago. An enchanted evening with Joey Diaz and Ari Shaffir. Followed by Manhattan, New York City. Manhattan, November 9th and 10th and maybe 11th. I'm doing 2 shows and a live podcast. Go to my website for all my dates, www.arithegreat.com. And that's it, everybody. Once again, I would really like to thank my guests for being so open and honest with me and for sharing so much. Luke Harder, you can find him on Twitter at Anonyphant. It's ANONYPHANT, and Star Fox, who's more the technical guy. You can find him on Twitter at STAR_FAWKES. They're 2 guys from Anonymous fucking telling me the answers to my questions, and I really liked it. I hope you guys are learning as much from this as I am. So here we go. Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, episode 79, part B. We are Anonymous. Enjoy. And for the music for this episode, I decided to choose something that some of us have forgotten. That this country belongs to us. It's ours. And we, at some point, have started to lose control. It's ours. It's ours. Let's take some control back. All right, well, we're back. Thanks for coming back another day, you guys.
What?
Terrible drive.
Yeah, it was really long.
Yeah, thank you for making it twice. I really appreciate it. We have so much more to talk about. So, okay, you were telling me a little about LulzSec and what's all that stuff?
It's just splinter groups of hackers, basically.
Yeah.
And they're just creating an identifiable name that separates them from the whole of Anonymous.
Yeah.
But still part of it.
Anonymous as a group could still, or as individuals, still support what they did, but they're flying their own banner, like, hey, this is us. And everything that we do can all be tied together.
It's like when blacks sell crack in the ghetto, and they all do that, but certain ones have gangs in certain streets, and then others have gangs in other streets, but they're all there to sell crack.
Or when pot dealers put, I don't know, a logo on their baggies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But you know it's their shit.
Yeah, this is our shit.
Yo, this is mine.
This isn't just Anonymous. This is this specific subset group.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Is there a lot of bragging in terms of, like, not out loud, but in terms of, like what you said, when some of those guys do stuff that you can never imagine doing? You didn't, those weren't your words, but, like,
Is some of it like, look what I can do, everybody? Like they do something just to show how good they are?
It's kind of frowned upon.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because the ego factor.
Yeah, the ego factor.
They don't like ego.
Yeah, you're not really supposed to be. I mean, the whole point of being anonymous is it can't be identified.
Yeah.
So by you
anybody.
trying to brag about something and being identified with it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it kind of goes against the principle.
Wouldn't having sex do that also? Not sex. SECTS? Wouldn't having little splinter groups also?
Yes and no, because
Yeah.
it's not a single person doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're not doing it necessarily to brag about it. They're doing it to tie a bunch of things together.
Yeah, like
Like, that way all of their actions are tied together as being related.
it kind of gives them more of almost a credibility too. So it's just like if you have your own name and then you start putting out your own releases and it starts to gain traction, like what you took from the movement and created within the movement.
Yeah.
When you continue that on and then people are just like, oh, I kind of agree with that. Kind of shows that it's still within the movement, like the greater span of the movement.
Because everyone's into it.
Because they're just like, oh, look what they're doing. But if it's frowned upon, usually there's repercussions.
And the good thing, too, is that when they do that and it is frowned upon, it doesn't necessarily negatively affect the image of the entire group.
Yeah, just them.
Right. That's a good thing. If you're going to do some weirdo stuff, like make yourself a name and don't represent all of us. Now, when that guy got caught 6 months ago, a year ago, well, it was public then, ratting on other people.
Oh, Sabu.
Oh,
Sabu?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's his anonymous name?
Yeah.
That's
Okay, break down what happened. Both you guys.
Okay, approximately a little over a year ago,
Yeah.
he gets arrested. But he gets released back into the wild with a federal issue laptop to work from.
yeah.
So that everything is keylogged and tracked. And
Okay.
Can be watched and monitored.
But they want him to... He knows that's what's happening.
yeah, and the idea is for him to convince other people to do bad shit and then entrap them and get those people arrested.
And that's what happened.
I think so.
Yeah,
But he didn't get very many people.
No.
Not very many people fell for it.
because
Really?
Yeah.
he started acting different. A lot of the times, there's a point where an Anon goes away for a while, and Anons notice that. If you're an Anon that's...
And then they come back and they sound a little different.
yeah.
And you're like, what? And
You're
then
like-
you can log also. You don't have to go from memory. You're like, well, this was posted this date. This
Yeah.
was posted 2 days before
Comparing
that.
tweets, yeah.
And he went 12 days before that without posting anything. And he said, cops are here. Talk to you guys in a minute. And then suddenly he's like, hey, what's your guys' real names?
Yeah.
It was
And-
like he came back and he said, oh, or like, this isn't what he said. I can't remember, but it was just like he left, made a big deal about something, came back and was just like, oh, hey guys, nothing's wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a little weird. There were definitely
That's
some
like
people
mafia shit.
who cried out in the beginning, like,
Fed.
you got vanned.
Yeah.
We know you did.
You got vanned?
Yeah, that's
Picked up in a van?
That's the term for
That's
it.
the
Like
term.
you get
It's like a V and then the and sign. It's like banned.
Really?
Yeah.
And that means getting picked up in a van
Van.
by cops or whatever?
Yeah, usually it's like a white van.
V and ampersand.
Yep.
I like that. Vanned. I like
Someone
that.
actually said that to, what was her name? Roseanne Barr. The one that's running
So she
for
got
the
banned?
group. No, they said when the Sabu thing I think was going down, that she asked an Anon what happened, and they said, "Oh, he got vanned," and she sent back, "Vanned?" ? And then they explained it, but it's just like, just means they basically came and took you.
Where was this? On a message board? Is there a place you guys all hang out?
Twitter.
Twitter.
Twitter. That's
And
how
there's
you-
IRC channels too.
Those are kind of
And
What are IRC channels?
it's
Message boards?
it's a forum board but faster.
Yeah.
And there's no like record of it. Like you can't go back for years looking through posts
How
yeah.
far can you go back? A week or two.
since you logged in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah, but even there's some Anons who aren't so keen on the IRC channels anymore because their security. Some have been compromised. Some are compromisable.
With Twitter, you feel okay?
I feel okay on Twitter. I mean,
Not Facebook, you don't.
Oh no,
Right?
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
not,
randomly
not
getting
after they threw that kid in the psych ward for
Yeah.
making Facebook posts.
Yeah.
What was that?
Marine.
Former Marine made some posts that admittedly were a little questionable in nature, but never making direct threats against anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they came and picked him up and threw him in a psych ward. No real arrests. No charges
Really?
were filed. They threw him in a psych ward for 30 days.
Scary.
And we made a bunch of noise about it, and a federal judge in Virginia, I think, intervened and said, you guys can't hold him. You have to let him go home.
And they did.
Yeah.
I remember
But
all
only
of a
because
sudden-
we made a fuckload of noise about it.
I remember one day I was just getting text messages from a bunch of people I'd never known and calls from people I don't have in my phone book. And I'm like, why is all these people? And I answer one. They're like, you Ari. And I was like, yeah, who? What? And then I check my Facebook, and it's just, there's my phone number, just out there now. Never put it in again. They just decided, we're going to change this around. Everyone will have access to it.
Yeah.
God.
It's so funny how those companies switch stuff up, and then you're either able to do something, or now they have something of yours.
And we do give Twitter a little credit, though, for the fight they put up.
Oh, yeah.
As far as when the government does come and want information about specific Twitter users.
Yeah.
Twitter's pretty good about sending their own law team back and saying, you need to prove that you fucking have a good reason.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They don't just hand it over.
Yeah. But if they came and said, we think this girl's been murdered, we need...
Yeah, I'm sure they'd help out about it.
Right.
You know.
Okay,
But
it's one of those, but we're not just giving you names.
they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So you guys meet on those IRC boards or on Twitter. What did you do before Twitter? Just the IRC boards?
I didn't have anything to do with this before Twitter.
Yeah.
Really?
I was on Twitter, but I'd only read about Anons and see what I saw, either on the internet or on, mainstream media, but then soon they started vilifying them, and I was just like, wait a minute, this sounds too played out. They are the bad guys. Everyone must not like them right now. Don't like Anonymous. Don't like them.
The general feeling I get when Anonymous is brought up is a little bit of those guys are scary. Don't fuck with them. Because you're such powerful mischief makers.
Yeah,
so powerful that it's I don't want that.
When Amber Lyon was still part of CNN, when she did her story on Anonymous and the behind the scenes of it, and the underneath part of it, she went into detail about. I totally just went off track. I totally forgot what I was going to say.
That'll happen sometimes.
All right, well,
Totally forgot.
there is going to be a documentary coming out pretty soon called We Are Legion.
Yeah.
We Are Legion?
Yeah. It premiered at the Sundance Film Festival. It was at, what's the big,
Kansman?
No. It's down in Austin, Texas.
Oh, South by Southwest?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It premiered there.
I was there.
At another festival in San Francisco, another one in Toronto.
And it's about you guys?
It is about Anonymous, and it tells a good story.
Have you seen it?
A guy named Brian, I've seen parts of it. A guy named
I've seen
Brian
parts of it.
Knappenberger
Good.
made it.
Yeah.
And
I know a few people in the Oakland Bay area who've actually gone and seen it.
It's representative, you think, of what
And they
People
said they really
approved.
liked it. Yeah.
people approve.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, this is bullshit.
I haven't seen any negative comments so far.
Really?
Fellow Anons have said that it is amazing.
You should have seen when funny people came out. The kind of response it got here. Everyone's like, that's bullshit. We never do that. That's fucking no way. This is about his love for his wife. Nah, we don't care about that. They're representing comedy wrong. Wait, how long has Anonymous been around?
2007 or 8?
That's so recent.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
And that was the Scientology and the first Pirate Bay action.
Yeah, Scientology
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
We're not behind the internet anymore. We're here.
We're not what?
Scientology was one of the first we're not behind the internet just anymore. We have a life.
That was the first time where Anonymous actually came out with the Guy Fawkes masks in public
went-
and protesting
and
not
went
just
and
on the
protested in real life.
internet. Yeah.
What's with Guy Fawkes? Did someone just suggest that and then it just stuck?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Really?
Yeah.
And then the story of Guy Fawkes and V for Vendetta and in between, intertwined.
makes sense.
There's a scene at the end of V for Vendetta where, the main character wears this Guy Fawkes mask
Right,
through the
right,
whole
see it.
movie.
Why, is he burned?
But-
That's the story?
Yeah. He got horrible scars or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the movie, a bunch of people who are sympathetic to his cause, he has them dress up with these masks
yeah.
and trench coats.
Yeah.
So it's we're all
we
Guy
are-
Fawkes.
yeah.
We're all looking to support each
We
other.
are Legion.
Man, I completely had this wrong. You guys aren't some sort of I didn't really know what it was exactly. It's more of just just a bunch of Robin Hoods. Sort of. I mean, you're not stealing money. Do you guys have any, like, treasury at all?
No.
There's no money raised?
No.
There's no income derived from this because then you would be just taking.
The only thing that we do related to money is if there is a live protest action like Occupy Wall Street or something, and there's somebody who is particularly gifted at streaming that event live, we'll all help out, and they'll set up like a donations page, and we'll help out by spreading that around and getting people to donate to it to fund that person staying at the protest so that the rest of us who can't be there can watch.
Yeah.
Oh, to set up the stream.
Like, I can't go to New York.
And so you guys all just take your own money that you use, whatever way you use. So Anonymous really is just regular people.
Yeah.
It's just all sorts of different people with a slant towards the computer savvy.
It could be your mailman, it could be your chef, it could be your babysitter.
Yeah, you guys have only been on computers, but really it doesn't really have anything to do with that. Like I was telling you, like my friend who made this program who just called my phone over and over again just to fill up my voicemail. Like, and he would just laugh at me. Mm-hmm. Some Asian guy, I forget his name. I think it was one of the ways. They had like 3 ways in my building. We called them way 1, way 2, and way 3. But yeah, it just happens to be on the internet, right?
Mm-hmm. A lot of the stuff. And
That's the easiest way for us to all collaborate in a nation the size of the U.S.
Yeah. It's really making this thing with this. I have this theory that there's not going to be any accents in like a generation or two, because since we all have access to everyone, like video of everybody else, we're all just sort of gentrifying into like a gray, into like no accent or just one accent, you know?
It's possible.
Just because like people in the South only hear people from the South, that's why they sound like that. But then when they hear people from Boston talking all the time, everything's got to just sort of...
Whoa, that'd be
It's actually funny. I have a friend who's from England.
Yeah.
But if he was sitting in here, you wouldn't know it unless his mom called. And he gets an accent.
English accent?
Yeah. But he doesn't even have to be in person with them. It's just like the association with those people brings out the accent.
Oh, wow.
He's not doing it on purpose. He
crazy.
can't even like he doesn't think about it.
It's just his brain. Bam.
Is there like a morality that you guys hold? Or is it all just like whatever?
No censorship, freedom of speech, don't fuck kids.
But the don't fuck kids wasn't part of it in the beginning. You must have just agreed. No, I'm saying like you probably hadn't thought of it.
It's just something that is consistent.
Yeah. I'm sure if there was a mass murderer, you could find out who it was, you would also be like, this guy's been killing hookers.
Yeah.
You should do something to him.
Yeah.
But there's no like...
There isn't a written down code.
There's not. It's just what people are going to end up reacting to. The whole of Anonymous will end up naturally. It's sort of just like a ocean or just nature. Just sort of like a tide. It just moves where it moves.
Yeah.
So all these people naturally...
We call it the hive.
The hive.
Yeah.
Which is all of Anonymous.
Yeah, and if you are part of the
It's the hive mind.
you have the hive mind.
So like that's why when we say that somebody fucked with Anonymous, we say they stuck their dick in the hive.
Yeah.
Because it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's
And
funny.
it also comes from like the concept of like hive mind,
Yeah.
you know, where you've got a bunch of people all sharing information and coming to the same conclusion and then moving together.
Is there any fear of that, of getting caught up in something and not knowing all the facts before it's sort of attacking somebody?
Actually, that was something I was going to say. When that group Invisible Children put out that Stop Coney video, Coney 2012 video, and
A lot of people got caught up in that.
a lot of people got caught up in that.
Yeah.
Well, Anonymous, of course, they're watching it and they're just like, Well, they looked more into it, dug up all this stuff on the organization Invisible Children, where their money really goes, where it really doesn't go.
Really?
Yeah. That they had corporate backers in like the Senate that were trying to pass laws to militarize Africa. Like all this crazy stuff.
Coney wasn't even in the country.
Yeah, Coney
anymore.
wasn't even in the country. So Anonymous put out their
I forget what
own.
it was. Was it Uganda?
Yeah, Uganda.
Yeah, he had moved to the Congo. Like,
Really?
He wasn't
Yeah.
even in Uganda
And
anymore.
people were like, we got to stop him.
So after,
and the
But what
people
was it?
of
Shows and
Uganda
stuff?
were like, "Can you not
Yeah.
bring this up? We haven't seen that guy in 17 years. Can
Yeah.
you just like
Uganda was
not fucking bring him up anymore?"
So, like, Anonymous finds all this stuff out after this video comes out, and America's making a rile about it, and they just basically say, hey, this video was made. They didn't give you all the facts. Bam, here they are.
Here are the real facts.
That's one thing that
I remember hearing a thing about that, a little bit about it.
it's one thing Anonymous is really good at is research.
Yeah.
So they don't act just with a hive mind of like, not a hive mind, a mob mentality.
No. I mean, it can happen, but generally, there's at least one person who finds something to make an argument against an action like that, and it spreads quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like let's look at this for a second. Let's decide. And then everyone does. Everyone calms down. Mm-hmm. That's good. It seems like you refuse to take money. There's no like diversion of funds. It's just so if you're raising money, it's just coming out of your pocket.
Yeah.
This teacher can afford, I don't know, $30. So he's like, here. Somebody else can
And
afford.
it doesn't
200.
go to like a treasury bank account or anything. It goes to like some specific
That
person
dude.
who may or may not even be a part of Anonymous.
Yeah.
It may just be some guy who's at a protest that a bunch of anonymous people are supporting, and those people are like, hey, dude, set up a WePay account and we'll donate to you so that...
Make sure those people have food or something.
Yeah, like pizza. Like they do that all the time. Like when I was at Anaheim, someone from Anonymous, I don't know who it was, they just said, an Anon sent us pizza.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Are you guys worried about being arrested? Like, how much does that play on your minds? I'm going to guess Luke more than Star Fox just because of age.
Well, that's why I make goddamn sure I don't do anything illegal.
Okay. What about you? I'm sure you've done illegal stuff. So, like, do you worry about it?
A little.
I didn't worry about fuck all when I was your age.
I really don't care more so what happens to me.
Yeah.
If they come and take me, okay, they got me. Oh, well, I did something stupid and I fucked up, so they were able to.
And you also know that the National Lawyers Guild will come to your defense.
Exactly.
For some reason, we have those guys in our pocket.
National Lawyers Guild.
Yeah.
They like Anonymous?
They love
yeah.
Occupy, they love Anonymous.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're just good, like, do-gooders?
That's one of the major things that Anonymous always tries to put out whenever there's a real-life protest action.
Yeah.
Make
Get a
sure you
Sharpie
have-
and write
Yeah.
the phone number down.
Yeah, I've been
Write
at
what phone number down?
The National Lawyers Guild.
I've been at protests where they write on Sharpie on you the National Lawyers Guild number.
So you know who to call.
Yeah.
Wow. What kind of illegal stuff do you do? And Luke, stop him if he's saying something he shouldn't say. But you're anonymous on this podcast.
Stop.
So, we're
Stop
already?
now.
Really? All right.
That'd be silly. Sorry.
Okay, fair enough. That's good. Thanks.
Yeah.
I talked him into coming here. I can't.
Totally fair.
There's no sense in that.
But yeah, see, my biggest thing is like I said, it's like if something happened to me, it would be from my own mistake. But if anything, like with Barrett Brown, with like what just happened to an Anon member named Barrett Brown.
What happened?
He had beef with the feds. Obviously, he has his own beef with the feds. But
Well, we should explain who Barrett Brown is.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, we
a
should
controversial character.
he's very.
There are members of
controversial
Anonymous
face.
who like him. There are members who do not. And he does not claim anymore to be associated with Anonymous, just that he works with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I gotta, like, a lot of people don't like him because of how much he talks to the press, and a lot of people think that, like, he feeds his own ego.
Yeah.
'Cause he's not
He's an
anonymous.
admitted heroin addict. He's a little bit of a crazy person.
He shows his face. People don't like that.
He's written a couple books. Like, you can buy his books on Amazon.
That must be a lot of people.
He's written articles for Vanity Fair and The Guardian.
Everyone's like,
and-
no, we don't do that.
Yeah.
That's the thing we don't do. So, yeah.
Exactly. But he is good at getting attention to something. You know?
Yeah.
He will make enough noise and show his face so that somebody comes and interviews him. He's been interviewed on CNN and Fox and MSNBC
Yeah.
and you know,
As an Anon member.
Yeah, when they get
as
someone, it's like, oh, we got Barrett
talking
Brown.
about Anonymous.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and trying to give some insight.
Okay.
But anyways, so I want to say 6 or 8 months ago, federal agents came to his house, took his laptop, his Xbox, his phone, basically anything that had a hard drive in it.
Yeah.
But they didn't take him. They just took all his shit. And they pressed no charges, came up with nothing, and they won't give him his stuff back.
Yeah.
And it's been driving him nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
And finally, he ended up making a YouTube video where he threatened a specific federal agent. And
Threatened him how?
he
I don't recall exactly what he said.
His like,
he basically
physical danger?
He
Or-
basically told him
Yeah.
all the weapons that he'd have, like if they came and did anything. And then he also said something about his children because they involved his mom.
Because what?
Because the feds involved his mom.
I think they went and searched his mom's
Yeah,
house.
they
and
went to
shit.
his mom's house, and he was like, my mom had absolutely nothing to do with it. So since you did that, basically, I'm going to do something to you with someone it has absolutely nothing to do with.
Oh, wow.
And he admittedly gets a little crazy and,
Yeah.
and was driven a little crazy by the feds.
Yeah.
They came and took all his shit for no... I mean, they didn't have a reason.
Like, I
they
watched
couldn't
the
find
videos.
anything. They
He
didn't
was
charge him with
extremely
anything, and then they
They
wouldn't
won't
give the
take it
stuff back.
Yeah.
And To me, that's no different than like
just
they
stealing.
came and stole stuff from him.
Yeah.
When he got mad,
It's a mob
they
organization.
came back and
Just took.
arrested him.
But they did arrest him.
Yes,
Yeah.
and actually, it was kind of funny. There's a program or a website called Tiny Chat.
Yeah.
Familiar with it?
Uh-uh.
It's I don't know how to explain it, but basically, a bunch of people with webcams can all
Yeah.
talk to each other, and you see 8, 4, 16 different screens of all
Becomes a
different
chat
people,
And they're all just...
and everybody can talk or chat like in a chat box or whatever. So Barrett Brown's in one of these little rooms talking with a bunch of people. Some of them were people who didn't like him. Some of them did like him, whatever. But all of a sudden you hear, like, get on the fucking ground.
Yeah.
Really? He was
Screen
on-
goes black.
Yeah.
He was on Tiny Chat, and there's video of it online, and he got raided and banned online.
Yeah.
Wow. So everybody
Yeah.
saw it. That wasn't the guy they there was some guy who had some mansion that they raided with like helicopters.
That was Kim.com.
That was
Yeah, that
Kim.com.
was the guy from
Yeah,
Mega
yeah,
Upload.
that was the Mega Upload dude.
Oh yeah. I saw videos of him talking and it was like, what are the
He's a really smart guy.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is. Oh, yeah.
He said something the other day like, why haven't the feds picked up Bill Gates yet? Millions of people use Microsoft to acquire illegal files. That's all they were using his stuff for.
Yeah.
to acquire illegal files.
He wasn't doing it. People were using something he created to do something else with it. It's no different than somebody using Windows to do it.
Gosh. Yeah, you're right.
It's just a tool.
Well, Napster was like, the problem with Napster is they housed it on there. They housed all this stuff on there. But isn't that just a technicality at some point? You're bringing it here and then giving it to there instead of you just get it straight from that dude.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like when I started downloading stuff, Napster was the first thing that I remember using to. There was no thought of like, where are these files exactly housed?
Nobody gave a
Yeah.
shit.
No, it was just like you get this.
Like,
from
just holy
things.
crap, we can get free music
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
easy?
yeah.
I remember when it was one morning. It was one day. It was Tuesday night, or Tuesday was like release day for new albums, and so Monday night the record stores would stay open late after midnight so they can release the albums. And it was Alanis Morissette's second album and one of Beck's albums.
Okay.
Both came out, but I had to work from midnight to 3 a.m. at my desk school job, so I couldn't go. But by 3:45 a.m., like I got home, I had both discs burned and like the covers copied on there. And I was like, well, this is even easier than going to the record store.
Yeah.
It's just way faster.
It really is, though.
And they didn't have iTunes back then. There was no way to even, couldn't even get it that fast if you wanted to pay for it.
I think the first one I used was LimeWire.
LimeWire was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's when you can get individual songs or whole albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, LimeWire is now a honeypot.
Yeah.
Is it what?
A honeypot?
What's a honeypot?
Basically, like, the feds run it, and if you use it, they just come to your house.
Oh, really? LimeWire?
That's my impression of it.
I've used it.
Well, yeah, because the Fed shut it down completely, and then they sued the guy for basically the national debt. And
a honeypot just to attract
so
bees.
now, and then all of a sudden,
Stuck.
it came out like this. Someone basically resurrected LimeWire, but no one really was just like, who did this? Because the guys were being sued that originally ran LimeWire.
He's like, I ain't doing it.
I went over to a friend's house once, and he was still using it, and I was like, play the song you just downloaded. And he plays it, and it's like a computer-type synthesized voice that says, you're downloading illegal music,
I've
please
gotten
stop
those
doing
before.
this.
I've gotten those before.
Yeah.
They send those files in there.
I've gotten
Or
ones that are,
viruses.
that are like, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Oh, yeah. I got one of those, too. It was a Bill Clinton one. I remember that. And
Yeah,
then it said,
that's all it said. I was like, this is not like the album I downloaded.
almost, I'm
No idea why
positive.
people wasted their time with that shit.
Do you guys ever have get-togethers? Like socials?
I don't know. Some people do.
Yeah, some of it.
Company
There are
picnics?
some people who have become good friends enough that they'll meet
Yeah.
up and get together.
I think it's cool when people do that, when meet on like chat rooms, message
Yeah.
boards, and they're like, we should all do something. We do other things besides just sit here. Let's all go bowling.
Yeah.
And so you guys do that? You don't wear your
it's
Guy
been
Fawkes
done.
mask?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I recently actually met up with a couple of Anons, and they gave me books that they thought I'd like, that they thought I'd find interesting, that held knowledge and different ideas of stuff. So I was like, cool. So like, I have these books, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
I was able
Does-
to connect with them.
A lot of the meeting up revolves around protests.
Yeah, that's where a lot of it goes down.
Is there a lot of fucking in the anonymous circles?
I have no idea.
I've only heard once or twice, but no.
There's not many girls, and I'm assuming the girls that are there may not skew to the attractive side.
Sometimes you don't even know you're talking to a girl until you call them a guy, and they're like, "I'm actually a girl," and you're just like, "Oh."
And that may or may not be true.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Did you just want to make the conversation weird, or are you actually a girl?
Yeah.
That is the tiniest little notebook, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It fits in my pocket. These little moleskin ones. Yeah, everybody makes fun of me. It's
Those
so
things
great.
are awesome, though.
Yeah, it's so great. And then when you're done with the
It
page,
looks like you stole it from
just
a
tear it
Hobbit.
out. Looks like you stole it from a Hallmark? I stole it from a Target.
No, a Hobbit.
Oh, a Hobbit. Oh. So this is more... I'm trying to think what I would like classify it. Would you say it's like a hobby, what you guys are doing, or like you're part of a cause?
I would like to think of it as part of a cause.
Part of a
and
cause?
My reason for it is because I believe that freedom of information and the communication ability that the internet gives the world is something that is going to change fundamentally society forever.
Yes.
The ability to transmit information?
Yes.
The cultural divides and a lot of the racism and bigotry behind that, a lot of that's going to go away as older generations die off, and with the internet communication. And I also
you
believe
have access to new ideas. You don't get stuck in a small town.
And I also believe that it has the ability to transform the way we're governed.
Yeah.
In that we won't need to be anymore.
Why?
Okay, think about it like this. Why do we have Congress? Why was Congress created?
I don't know.
Because it was really fucking tough to get a message to Washington on horseback from California in 1827.
So you tell your own representative something.
So you had to send a guy from your hood.
And he was a congressman.
Yes, because communication sucked.
So
we've solved
spokesman.
that problem.
Huh. Yeah, I guess you're right. We don't need that. But then we just have congressmen.
Yeah, and somebody made the argument to me, well, then who's going to come up with the new laws? Anyone can. Anyone can come up with something, just like we do in Anonymous, come up with an idea, post it online, and enough people get behind it, we put it up for a vote.
Yeah,
it's simple.
Doesn't the White House do
Put
that?
it up for a national vote.
With the We Are Change website, except when
they can
something
take all the money that they spend on paying congressmen to give the nation Wi-Fi or broadband.
Yeah.
So that everybody could participate.
Wow.
But that's why I like to think of it being part of a cause, because the basic function of Anonymous is to protect the fucking internet.
Yeah. Anonymous is also known as the final boss of the internet.
Final boss?
The final boss of the internet.
That's a game term if people don't know. Final boss is the last dude. And if you like games, go to gamefly.com/Ari and get a 2-week free trial and give me money for weed.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's my point when I said there's no accents. It'll be the same sort of thing. Like, we'll have... You can't have... no bigotry. Mm-hmm. I grew up in an all-Jewish community. Definitely school, but even my block was like, there was a couple non-Jews. You don't talk to those people. You nod hello, and that's it. So, like, we'd make gay jokes. We'd make black jokes. We weren't even aware of Mexicans. Just because of the East Coast. And they weren't around. They were in a different neighborhood.
You had Puerto Ricans instead, right?
I don't know what we had. I wasn't aware of Latinos as I didn't know until I moved to California. I was like, I didn't know the kind of racial stereotypes of them.
There's a lot.
The babies, they enjoy that. Abandoning dogs, that's a new one I've learned. That's a very Mexican LA thing. Like, oh, what a cute puppy. Oh, you're grown up? Fend for yourself. Yeah, with people having access to like we didn't see any black people, so we could make fun. We didn't really care. We're like, they're not around. Let's just make fun of them.
Yeah,
definitely gays. That was more insidious because I knew we had gay people in our class. Looking back, we had to, and we did not make them feel welcome to come out. There was no way. But now, if you have access to all that, where you're like, my dad didn't know. One of my best friends in college, this guy named Andrew, that we called Gay Andrew, because he was so fucking gay. Also, we had a straight Andrew. That's why. But he was studying sometimes at my house. My dad met him a few times, and it came up later that he was gay, and he was flamboyantly gay. He was one of those. And my dad was like, Andrew's gay? And we're like, well, what did you think they were? What did you think gays were if you didn't know that was a gay?
Well, look at all the people who didn't know that Elton John was gay, or that,
yeah.
or that.
Rock Hudson.
What's the guy from Queen?
Oh, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't know. Now you look at him like, these pants are so tight around the cock area. It's just accentuating. Yeah, you look back now and you're like, of course. But you're right. But once you have access to all those things,
The internet's going to change the course of human history. It has to.
Yeah.
And the only thing that can stop that
It's like time travel for
is
information.
giving corrupt governments control over it.
Yeah.
That'll stop it.
Yeah. We can't let that happen.
Corrupting a system in any aspect of thinking of a system ruins it. Think of a computer.
Say that again?
Corrupting a system, thinking in the aspect of a system as like anything. Like think of a computer. If you
Okay.
corrupt that computer system, it's toast.
It doesn't work the way it was intended.
The
You
whole
can't do
computer
all the
doesn't
cool
work.
stuff
Yeah.
that it used to do. So allowing
what's
corrupt governments to have control over the internet is doing the same thing.
Exactly.
You're stifling it from doing all of the possible things it could do.
Yeah.
And humanity should be allowed on its own to sort out the good and the bad. Let humanity make the mistakes it needs to with the internet.
When
We'll
Bill
figure it out.
Yeah. When Bill Clinton made his big jump in points against George Bush Sr. in the election, I sort of remember this. He went on Arsenio Hall and he played saxophone. And his polls just shot up after that. But it's like, that's because we didn't have any access to what he's passed, what bills he supported, or what he hasn't. So it's like, man, that seems like a cool guy.
Yeah.
So we're voting blind.
Yeah.
And it's like, why not just like have people in charge that we want to? Well, you're right. Why do we need almost any government? I mean, you definitely need police. People are going to be animals.
Yeah. That's why, like, I always, I don't know, people have, like, utopian ideas, like the zeitgeist movement and
That
all that.
only
It's
works
like,
if-
what are you going to do about crazy people?
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah.
contingency plan for assholes?
Yeah, somebody smacks you. Now, I want him to stop smacking me. That dude over there.
What do we do about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need someone in charge.
They don't necessarily need to be in charge. They just need to be gifted with the authority to act
To protect and
in the
serve,
good
like I mean, just like
of the people
yeah.
Yeah.
by the people's definition of what that is.
Yeah.
If enough people say it too, it's like that would happen in the Comedy Source here. If we all bitch about one dude who's annoying everybody,
You know, there's an
who's
interesting
not a
concept
comic,
too,
it
where
gets
like
done.
Native Americans didn't have police or laws before white people came here. They didn't
Really?
have anything like that.
Huh.
And so Native American wisdom would say that we didn't have any thieves because we didn't have any laws against it. We didn't have a definition for it. There wasn't a jail to go to.
People just took stuff.
Nobody did it because it wasn't a thing.
Right.
And I don't necessarily think that would hold true today. It's just an
Yeah.
interesting way to think about things
Yeah.
that like we've designed a system of laws that create criminals.
Yeah, where they're like, I need to be able to have a gun because what if a bank robber comes into my place and has a gun? It's like, why does anybody have a gun?
Yeah.
How about just nobody has guns? Why do there so many guns around?
Or why not everybody has guns?
Yeah, sure.
And that's the argument that government has with other governments. It's like, well, we all need to have guns because everybody has them. So
Yeah.
as long as we all have them, nobody will use them.
If everyone just started,
That was the argument for the nuclear weapon.
what could we need? Because
It's so fucking bad. No, we'll never do anything, and it'll bring world
Right.
peace.
Yeah.
Until there's one guy
Yeah.
who says fuck it and go for it. What are the type of illegal stuff that Anonymous will do? Not you
There's
don't
no,
do anything.
There's no rules.
Yeah, there's no rules.
So they just do whatever. I sort of understand that too, because at some point it's like there's a wrong being done. I don't care if you made up these rules that says I can't do this. I'm gonna do it anyway. Because that guy's being like, if I have to jaywalk to stop a rape, you know what I mean? It's like I don't care about the
Yeah.
law, the jaywalking.
Yeah.
A law is just some shit some old people wrote down
Man,
that
that would
says
be
you can't do
horrible
something.
if you were waiting for the light as someone was getting raped, and you were waiting for the light to stop it changing. That would be a true patriot. That would really be someone who believes in the laws of this country.
I think there's a bit in there
I can
somewhere.
save.
Ari.
I can save her.
Waiting for the little white guy to come up on the thing while
Yeah,
watching
come
this
on.
horrible rape across the street.
That's like I
We'll
was
never have a real relationship again.
I was in Vegas one time and everyone started walking when the white guy hadn't gone up, and this black dude yells out, "Hey, the white man didn't tell you to walk yet. Everyone started laughing so hard.
Wow.
So what other questions you got in your little book there, buddy?
Well, I've got to most of them. See, a lot of these questions I do just because it's like, just to make sure it runs right. But you guys, are there any crazy stories of like stuff you guys have done that I don't know about?
Okay, I have a favorite one. This happened.
Let me do this before I forget, by the way. But go ahead, talk. I'm paying you guys $50 a piece.
This happened.
Damn, enjoy that money.
I want to say back in January or February of 2011.
Yeah.
Like right after WikiLeaks. Was that 2010 or 2011?
Started
2010, 11. Like we're somewhere in there. Like I always think 2010 though.
Anyways, it happened like right around the time that like WikiLeaks released the Cablegate and their big
all those
information
from the one dude, right? It all came from like pretty much one source.
Bradley Manning, allegedly.
Allegedly, it all came from
He's
Brad.
still on trial.
He's in solitary confinement.
They're just now getting around to starting to do some sort of trial, trying to figure out how they're going to do the trial and some other nonsense. But
it seems like the only one who did anything wrong was that guy. By the laws that we set up, like you.
By the laws that we set up, he's innocent because there's a law that says if you find something that is wrong, you have to report it to your superiors. Yep. But if you believe that your superiors will lock you away for it, like we have whistleblower protection laws.
Yes, we do.
Whistleblower protection. Oh, right. Because otherwise, people get in
he's supposed to be covered under that. And even if he's not covered under that, there is unlawful command influence. And what that is that because of the command structure of the military, someone in a superior position cannot assume your guilt if they are above the lawyers and whatnot in rank.
Say that one more time.
Okay, so I'll just lay it out there the way it is in this specific case. Obama is the commander-in-chief. He's the head guy for the military. Yeah. So military judges, military lawyers, everybody else involved is underneath him.
Okay.
He came out and said on video, somebody asked him some questions about Bradley Manning, and he said, well, he's guilty. He hadn't had a trial yet.
Obama said that?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because he hadn't had a trial yet, that's considered unlawful command influence because now, if he is found innocent, the lawyers and the judges involved in that have essentially violated a command because Obama already declared him guilty.
And they say he's guilty is because, like, well, Obama
because military law works different than our law.
Yeah. You have to call the judge your honor, or no, you have to call him, sir, yes, sir, your excellency.
But to get back to the point, the really good story I had and what really made me like, holy shit, Anonymous are the dopest fucking group ever.
Oh, shit.
Somebody posted a link to a blog of some dude that was torturing puppies and posting pictures and video on his blog.
Okay.
And horrific torturing, electrocuting them, keeping them alive for days, torturing the hell out of them.
Oh.
Just an awful person, okay?
Yeah. And this is verified. It's not just like Photoshop or anything. It's
no. Okay. This is crude looking and it's legit.
Yeah, you saw it?
But we find stuff like that all the time.
But this particular instance, they managed to track down the apartment he was in Spain and found people in that area to go verify hearing puppy sounds coming from that apartment and got the police to come and arrest that dude for animal rights abuses.
Wow.
It gets crazy.
Why? It was like IP address and just like they tracked
they tracked his ass. And after that, I was like, I'm on your team. That was dope.
Wow. Yeah, go out of the way to like, okay, so our government can't do anything here, but we'll just use our own. We'll just go do what we want. Wow. Nothing illegal. Or very little illegal, if anything. Wow. If you guys wanted to, you're more the techie, would you guys have, like, what do you guys do? Is there a stop to your power? Is there like an end to like stuff you can't do? Can you hack into any system? How does hacking work?
It's vulnerabilities and weaknesses in the way a system is set up.
Exactly.
Explain what that made.
Like, you know how someone sets up a system, and then they set up a security program for that system that's supposed to keep out anything. Basically, like, locks the door. No one's coming through that door.
Yeah.
Well, if that security system isn't set up right, someone's going to be able to just basically come through that door, come through the crack, or they didn't set that door up right.
Think about it like this.
It would stop most people just needing a password.
If you put that door on the other way, somebody could get in.
Right.
Because those pins that hold the door on the hinges, if they're on the outside,
exactly,
you can just pop those pins out, the door falls off.
And so for most people, they're just pushing against the door and like, it won't open. But you guys know how to like, no, you just gotta try this knob you just didn't know about.
Yeah, they put the pins on the outside, just knock the pins out and the door will come off.
Exactly.
It's essentially like that. And that's why, like, I don't know, I said in the beginning, Anonymous doesn't create a weakness in a system.
Right.
Or hackers in general don't create the weakness in the system. The weakness is there. They just find it.
Yeah. Somebody told me on Twitter that somebody from Anonymous said that they shut down my website a couple times last night. Not this past night, but this was, I don't know, 6 months ago.
Word.
They're like, just to see if I could do it. And I'm just scared. Because it's like, I can't. You know how when like someone's pushing you? Like if they're humongous, you're like, I can't push you back.
Yeah.
If it's Andre the Giant pushing you, you're like, I can't even try. Like,
It's
get
like
off me.
your buddy Joe has a joke about being around Brock Lesnar and coming to the realization that if Brock wanted to rape me, there's nothing I could do about it.
I'd be raped. Yeah.
So I see your point. But
I didn't want to even start. I didn't want to I didn't know if that was like, if you guys were, I didn't know what the fuck your organization was. So I'm just like, I'm just ignore it and hope it goes away. But he wrote back. He's like, yeah, I did it again. I saw him do it at some point. He showed me he was down, then showed me he was up again.
Did he tell you how it happened and how you could fix it?
He said, if you want, I can show you how to make your site more secure. But I was so scared of him that I was like, I can't even. I just don't even want to contact you.
Yeah.
But I guess you guys really aren't. Not really. You're really not bad people.
There's some
Everybody's really nice.
But there must be rogues, right? There must be people that are dicks that have that.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
but they have that regardless
happens.
of Anon. The people have that
There's
power.
people in the Tea Party. There's people that are members of MoveOn.org. There's people of every group you can possibly think of that somebody's just a dick.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no way around that. We don't have any kind of screening process to like identify
Are you a
dicks.
dick?
Yeah. This is a problem with Palestinians and Israelis, is that legitimately, without a joke, a humongous majority of Palestinians just want peace. They're just like, fine, we'll just live here. We'll get the exact area done. But like pretty much, I have a farm. I just want to raise my chickens.
I just want to live.
You know? They don't care about borders. I don't care about if fucking Canada took North Dakota back. I'd be like, I guess that sucks, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's every once in a while, there's some militant who just grabs a missile and just launches it over into a settlement. And you're like, the Palestinians, like, they're not acting on our behalf. It's like, well, they're amongst you, though. They're one of you.
So we're just going to randomly fire missiles at you guys.
Yeah, at all of you. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a strange situation. And it's like, the way I see it is the only
comparison.
I don't know. Most people think that when you're trying to fight against someone who is oppressing you, that you should always be nonviolent. It's kind of like teachings of Gandhi, okay?
Yeah.
Which I agree with.
That's just one theory, though.
Well, I agree with it.
Yeah.
When you can't win.
When you have no chance to winning by violence.
like if the American people wanted to really rise up and revolt against their government, there's more guns in this country than there are people. We got a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
We don't need anybody to come help us.
It's not.
The Palestinians don't have a very good chance of fighting off the Israeli army.
Right.
Their chances are pretty goddamn slim.
Yeah.
So since they need someone else's help, then they have to be nonviolent.
Right.
Because it's like, okay, well, you're throwing rocks at them, so like
all they're going to do is come
you're
down
provoking
and
them.
destroy the building that you made it in.
So what you have to do is be nonviolent in order for somebody else to say, okay, we've had enough of you just shelling Palestinians when they're not doing anything wrong. We're going to come in and help them now.
Right. Because other people would. Because then you become a victim.
Eventually they would, because it's like this dude's just getting picked on and they're defenseless and not defending themselves.
Every time somebody steps onto a bus and blows himself up and kills some tourists and stuff, people are like, well, that's a wrong right there. That's the guy was just taking his bus to visit his family.
So their retaliation is justified now because
right.
White phosphorus.
And it's like this vicious cycle with those people, but I don't know. I don't know enough about the situation. It's just on a broad scope of violent versus nonviolent action.
Yeah,
it's like you always have to be nonviolent if you require the help of an outside force.
I like that.
That's actually a situation I've learned a very, very good amount of information about through Anonymous as a whole.
About what? What's going on over there?
Yeah, the Palestinian Israeli.
What's your take on it from all your? Because I assume you guys have access to better or more information than I do.
I think first off, Netanyahu's a dick.
That could be. I like
I'm not going to speak on this.
I like the guy from one moment when he was running for, I think, mayor of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And whoever he was running against was trying to blackmail him.
Yeah.
Said, I got pictures of you cheating on your wife. You got to drop out the next week, or I'm going to release these. You got to drop out of the race. And he called a press conference, Netanyahu, that said, hey, this guy took pictures of me cheating on my wife, and he wants to blackmail me. I'm not going to drop out of the race. It has nothing to do with my policies.
Yeah.
And then his popularity just shot the fuck up. Mm-hmm. People are like, yeah, we don't care about that shit. That's only an American thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, why is he a dick?
I think he's a dick rather just because he really, with all the research I found on him, his statements he makes and what he says to the U.S., it's like he really, there's a video of him basically saying that the U.S. is Israel's secret weapon.
Yeah, it's not so secret.
Well, yeah, and if you know what's going on with that, then you know it's not that big of a secret. But if you're average schmo walking on the street, you're just like, what? But, with that, I have friends, I have a very, very close family, that's family friends that are Jewish. And I grew up around them. I learned a lot from them.
Accounting.
And I no.
How to balance a checkbook.
Yeah. It's always gets off by Jews.
My friend's mom, she was the head of their temple.
Okay.
So she, I'd hear something, at school, and there'd be no, Jewish people to confirm it, so I'd go to her and be like, hey, is this true? And she'd be like, oh, well, this is actually what it is, this is what it is. I'd never heard of Palestinians until I saw the movie Munich.
Oh, yeah.
And at that point, I was just like, okay, well, obviously, they're just going to murder people.
They're up to something. But that's just the few, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's just the few. And as a majority, everyone wants to live in peace. I don't think there's, unless you're crazy, and a psychopath, someone that's just like, I woke up this morning, I want to blow someone up.
I want war. Yeah.
I want to blow someone sky high and see their guts on the wall. But, everyone just wants to live. So, when you say just, obviously, a majority of Palestinians just want to live in peace. Yeah, they really do. And it's the same for a lot of Israeli citizens. They don't want that tension anymore.
No. Almost all of them don't.
Yeah.
I have cousins and aunts and uncles who live there.
Exactly. None of them want that. Look at with Iran right now.
Yeah.
The tension is probably the highest it's been over there in a long time.
Yeah. The problem is, it's both sides are sort of right, and then someone has to compromise because yes, Israelis, you feel like your security's, attacked, which it is.
Yeah.
But, you've also done stuff to make people mad at you.
Yeah.
They say, my friend Aaron Cater is a Palestinian. We can't talk about it anymore because it's so angry. But he goes, they stop at checkpoints, they stop ambulances, with sirens on from getting through. People are more likely to die because they have to stop these ambulances. But then it's the reason they didn't used to stop ambulances,
somebody exploit it.
Somebody smuggled guns through an ambulance, and they're like, well, now we have to stop the ambulances. I know it's just one guy, but, what are we supposed to do now? They're both just stuck.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, my album is coming out. It'll probably already be out when this comes out.
Okay.
Not that you wanted to. Would you have the power to make someone's album go number one?
I could do all that is in my power and having the influence I have on my Twitter to do what it could take to get that there.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean? You would have to tell other people to spread the message?
I'd be like,
oh, that's
hey,
a normal way. That's not a bad
spread
way.
This. Or I'd put it on
the other
Twitter.
way it could be done is by rotating your IP address and downloading the same album over and over and over again.
Yeah, that too.
Or a podcast.
And using it and doing it through stolen credit cards or whatever and creating a new iTunes account every time.
Right.
It can be done. It's just a pain in the ass.
Or if there was
my GameFly account, if people sign up for that, I can get 2 million people to sign up for a GameFly account. Is that something you guys have the capability to do? Obviously, they probably stopped my sponsorship at that point.
Hacking gets really
That's not even like
really complicated.
It
all gets really complicated.
And what you're describing isn't even that complicated. It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's
it's just more of writing a program to automate it so that it's just making it appear that a bunch of different people are downloading it from a bunch of different IP addresses.
Yeah.
And automating the process of creating a new iTunes account associated with like
an automated
new email account.
That would be a lot.
And stolen credit card information, and it's just a pain in the ass is what it is. And for what?
Right.
Exactly. Another way to make sure it goes number one would be to find all vulnerabilities in people's sites and make, like, say it was like a song or something, just like smack it on there and be like, haha, we took your site down, now enjoy the song. Because that's what some do. Like,
and what?
I think Cabin Crew took down certain police, some state police.
I think it was
website.
Arizona.
Yeah, I think it was. And they
now that's when you're looking at illegal stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, this is when you're like attempting.
They took down the cop's website and they put up a "fuck the police" video. And they were just like 187 on a motherfucking cop, like dirty pig, don't touch the something like.
So every time somebody goes to their website,
it's not their website anymore.
That YouTube gets gets a hit. That video gets a hit. Oh, that's a good way to do it. And how much of that is going on?
SQL injections.
Why would they shut down the Arizona police force?
Well, it depends.
A lot of people, or enough people, were opposed to the immigration laws.
Arizona, that's that.
Yeah, see, that's a tough one for me. That's not a black and white wrong, like child abuse.
Yeah, it's a tough one for a lot of people. I'm against the concept of the government being able to say, show me your papers, like Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
But at the same time...
Wait, what happened there? I forgot. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
At the same time, I have a story of... not really a relative, but a friend of a relative who used to go across the border, pick up 30 dudes, and bring them back to vote for his guy in the election.
Really?
Because they don't have voter IDs laws in the state that he was in.
Wow. Yeah, that's not.
So it's like...
Someone was trying to explain to me, I did a conference for the Border Patrol, just because of that amazing racist video. They were like, you'll be fine.
Oh, man.
The guy putting it together to see me in San Diego, and he's like, yeah, you don't have to be clean. It's like, all right.
You know what Border Patrol agents call people who try and cross the border?
What? Coyotes?
Donks.
Dogs?
Donks.
Donks?
I think that's what it is.
Why?
It's because that's what the sound of mag light makes when you hit them in the head with it.
Oh. Yeah, some of these guys were animals. I love it. But they were saying, isn't that racist about Arizona? He goes, it's only racist because we're on the border of another race. The North Dakota Border Patrol, they have a Border Patrol in North Dakota. That exists. They're just stopping white people. But they're stopping them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So what do they do, Cabin Crew? They just shut down?
Oh, I don't know if it was the Arizona police one per se, but I know it was some police
Arizona
department.
or Texas.
Yeah, some police department did something to either someone they stopped or a group of protesters or something, and they took down their website, like what was originally there on that police department's website, like, hi, welcome to blah, blah, blah state or whatever. They took that down and they, like, rewrote stuff like, hi, this is Cabin Crew, like, blah, 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 fuck you, enjoy this music, and it was fuck the police.
And that's a signature that some of you guys don't like, and some of you guys are like, yeah.
That's kind of like civil disobedience on the internet, but it is illegal.
How much of that stuff sort of goes on? And, like, what
It's up and down.
Yeah, it depends. And some of it doesn't directly affect me or him.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So we don't notice.
Oh.
Like,
right.
One of the founders of the Pirate Bay got extradited by Cambodia to Sweden.
Jesus,
And-
really?
and
they were
so-
in Cambodia?
Yeah, and so in retaliation, they took down Cambodian government's website.
Oh, right. Wow. The whole government.
Their website, which usually includes their mail servers, so they can't email each other on their like .gov email addresses.
Yeah.
Did they ever do anything like break into like Department of Defense stuff and like send tanks to a different area?
Yeah, I don't think that that's not on the same system that the rest of us are on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you couldn't even get in there.
I'm not.
I don't.
Are there like holy
not the right
grails
person to ask.
Are there like holy grails of like stuff to break into? Of like that would be awesome.
The
if somebody
Gibson.
could do it. Gibson Amphitheater.
That's an old joke from the movie Hackers.
Oh, it's been a long time. Wait, no, am I saying the Sleepers? No, Hackers. That's the one with the
I'd only say
Marty.
there'd be a holy grail. I'm not saying there is, but I could only say there'd be a holy grail if there was a server that the government or, say, a corporation, so there would be several holy grails, kept all the information they did not want anyone ever seeing on.
Yeah.
That would be a holy grail.
And nobody knows what it really is because we haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where a lot of what anonymous hacking accomplishes is exposing emails so that we know what the fuck is going on with some shady
Right.
corporation or what have you.
Which is really
and so
giving the
nobody knows what the
information.
Holy Grail is until it's opened.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because we don't know what all the secrets are.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We
And
have an
once you're there,
idea
you're like,
of
oh
some of
my
the people
God.
who are doing the worst shit.
Yeah.
You know? So, in my personal opinion, the Holy Grail should be CIA email database.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I
That'd
could
be the
agree
Holy
with that.
Grail.
It seems like everything
I
should
could
be
agree with
open.
that.
Should be open for audit. Where it's like, if you're our government, if we elect you, not everything. I shouldn't say that. Military stuff sometimes. It's like, yeah, I get that. You don't need
But
to know
at the
where
same
we're planning.
time,
But not for 50 years.
Well,
You can let me
that-
know as soon as the offensive is over what you did.
that's
Yeah.
usually the time frame for them coming clean with stuff is like 50 or 60
50 years after the last person dies. That's a lot, too.
Yeah.
Like, what? So it doesn't affect any of their fucking children? What?
Like that's when they've come out with
Yeah.
all the crazy stuff where they intentionally infected a bunch of black prisoners in Alabama with syphilis just to study what syphilis does
Study
to people.
syphilis.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it does that.
Yeah, and they tell us about that stuff 50 years later, or
When no one can be held
or when they
accountable.
put the Japanese in internment camps.
Yeah.
Oh,
During
yeah.
World War II, it was 40 or 50 years before they reimbursed
Those-
anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Or they
Those-
test drugs on the American public through the MK Ultra program.
Through what?
Test drugs on mind-altering drugs on the American public through like the MK Ultra program through the CIA.
What's the MK Ultra program?
That was where the CIA wanted to learn exactly how far they could fuck with the human mind.
Yeah.
Nice.
They-
Sounds like Fringe.
Basically went out and the American public would give people different mind-altering drugs.
Yeah, Rogan told me that they used to fuck with people who were getting hookers in New York later at night. They're like,
the
it's
CIA,
2 a.m. Just get to
the CIA used to run brothels in San Francisco, and the hookers were supposed to dose the dudes.
It seems like when they do something like grab Julian Assange and say we're going to take him in, and it's one of those where it's like, wait, why is our government stopping this? And they sort of don't talk about it. It's because they've sort of said like, oh, we've got to stop that guy. We'll talk about it a little bit, as little as possible, so we
Yeah.
don't have to catch flack. But we're going to stop him because he's bugging us.
Yeah.
And that's what humans do, right? They just fucking, they're like, it's not illegal, but all right. Just like you guys, I guess, at some point, where you're like, that's wrong, we're going to stop it. Man, that's a cool fucking group.
It is kind of neat to me too that it's made up of a bunch of people that grew up with comic book heroes and
Yeah.
superheroes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
This is your way of
completely.
like,
and a lot of the parallels and the base thought and ideas behind some of the things the group does are concepts from V for Vendetta,
Yeah.
Fight Club, The
Yeah.
Watchmen.
really? What do you
Batman.
mean? What do you mean?
When I think of
Oh, the concepts in general, like defending
yeah,
the
Yeah.
like,
impoverished.
when I think of free flow of information and all basically what we stand for, freedom of speech, like no censorship. One of the first movies that comes to my mind is Tron.
yeah.
And in Tron, he had to fight against all these like basically infections in the grid, and then once he did, the system was able to flow freely again. Everyone knew what they were supposed to be doing again.
Once you cleaned it.
Yeah, it was clean and it was flowing freely, and the system was beautiful. And
I
then
like that. It's like getting healthy.
yeah, and then you see the new one. Basically,
come unclogged,
the
yeah.
system got corrupted again, so they had to fix it again. Like where information would be going through, there's a door. They had to open back up the door.
Yeah, it's like once you get some sort of corrupt politician who decides, like, I'm going to take, a liberty that I shouldn't take. You're like, well, he's just going to keep defending that, and someone else is going to be like, well, I want mine. And humans are fallible. Mm-hmm. I was in Cape Cod for a wedding a few weeks ago, and there was some election commercial, and it was this guy saying that when he went to Congress, he was like a normal dude guy. That's what his platform was, I'm one of the people. And he goes, when I went there, I found there was all these people in Congress and the Senate who were insider trading. And then just profiting off their friends and knowing. And then he said he wrote a bill and passed it that said they can't do that. Like, if not every American can do it, they just can't do it.
Yeah.
And you see him saying, like, Obama passing it and saying, like, hey, good job to him. But it's like, yeah, why was that in place already? What do you mean? Shouldn't that already be done? Like, you need people to come in and, like, clean that shit up.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to get wrong.
Yeah. And a good majority of bills that go through, they're not even read.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that. When I grew up, I thought politicians were like, that's a politician. He knows what he's doing. He controls. But it's like, I could be a politician. You know?
I think
just normal dudes can do that. And I would steal left and right.
Well, and a long time ago,
Why
it used to
would you
be
not?
a lofty position to attain, you know? The pay that a senator or a congressman or the president earned was like, you were rich now.
Oh, right.
Now, I think a congressional pay is like $174,000 a year.
That should be rich. But it's like the people who
ain't
do it
shit.
are
Yeah.
retired, like, owners of law firms.
Yeah, and the president is 400 and some odd thousand.
Yeah.
That ain't shit to Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
So the doing it for the money is not a motivation to him. He's doing it for the other advantages.
Right. The
All,
bitches.
all the perks of being able to do things that benefit
Make laws
how he
benefit.
makes even more money.
Of course, like Hearst did with pot, where it's like, let's just fucking make new laws to outlaw some things that go against me. It's a good game plan.
It's just
wrong
douchey.
a little bit. Like, yeah, it's douchey, but I get it. Yeah, you want to block somebody's move.
It's kind of like chess.
It's kind of like chess, yeah, where it's like, all right, this is the way I'll kind of lock you in here. Now you can't do anything.
It's funny. I actually have somebody making a painting for me, and the painting is a chessboard, and all the rooks and knights and bishops and kings and queens are all on one side of the board.
Yeah.
And they're all designed like you ever see like the Bart Simpson's chessboard, where
Remember those?
Homer is the king and Marge is the queen.
Oh, man.
So all of the
Yeah, I remember those.
all of the pieces stand for something different.
Okay.
Like one of the rooks is the Statue of Liberty, but she's leaning on an oil well and holding an AK-47.
Oh, nice.
That's
All of the pawns
Wow. Yeah.
are all anonymous, and they're on the other side of the board.
All the pawns.
all the pawns.
So instead of it being the kings and queens and knights and bishop pushing their pawns out against the other pawns,
They're just pushing.
all the pawns are on one
Wow.
side.
They're just pushing against us. Man, that's sort of how it is. What can we do? Is there any way around it? But besides the little things you guys are doing is great. I shouldn't say. I don't want to belittle it. But
It has to take its own course through information and education.
Yeah.
People have to become aware of truths and reality, and the only way to make that happen is
Yeah.
to keep the internet free and open.
I'll say this right now: you guys need to do a better job of marketing yourselves. The way you come off is not what you are.
Yeah.
You need a better branding.
Yeah.
It's the media attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a big, big
they're
part.
only willing to report when something negative happens,
right.
and not when we find something that's like, we did something positive. We found a bunch of pedophiles.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of
we
that.
stopped that dude that was torturing puppies. We exposed a bunch of.
I remember hearing about that, and I thought it was like Belgrade or something. But I remember just hearing people did it, not anonymous.
Yeah.
There wasn't a word about you guys.
Sometimes that happens too. Something happens and they take it completely out of the story.
There's not a lot that can be done about it.
Man, does anonymous?
I think that the Brian Knappenberger guy that is making the has made and is about to release the We Are Legion documentary,
Yeah.
should be out October, November,
Okay.
and I think that will go a long way towards showing people what's really going on.
All you need to do is get the information. Not everybody has to watch it. You just get it up to enough people that they can then tell their friends. I never
Exactly,
watched that
yeah.
Coney thing, but I was like, oh, he's torturing kids. Okay.
If you change one person's mind about how the way the world works a day, you're doing a lot more than doing nothing.
Yeah. But by now with make anything go viral, it's like you can't just change one person's mind.
Oh,
you
no.
need like a good cool 1,000 people, and then let it spread from there.
Yes. To make like a vast leap or a movement, at least in the right direction, yeah.
Yeah. Does Anonymous need a official comedian? Because I would like to start.
We're all
Anonymous
comedians.
Comedian.
Well, yeah.
I just wear my Guy Fawkes mask up there. That'd be ridiculous.
I'll be like,
Hi, everybody.
that's right. That's the homie right there.
All right. Anything else? Any other crazy stories?
I guess I'll leave it with this.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the guy's name was, but there was a reporter once who was trying to describe Anonymous to people who didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And what he described it as is
Hold on.
that
Do you guys all know about the same stories?
some of it, yeah.
Because you all talk about them
Yeah.
online.
Well, this is one that I always really liked because it's easy for people to picture and understand.
Yeah.
And what he said was that Anonymous is a group the same way a flock of birds is a group. The only thing that associates them together so that you think they're a group is that they happen to be flying in the same direction.
Right, but they're all just birds.
But some new ones can join at any time. Some birds will decide to stop at a tree and not continue on with the rest of them.
Yeah.
That the only thing that identifies them all together is the fact that they're going in the same direction.
Wow.
They are not all
That's
hackers
all-
on steroids.
They're not what?
They're not all hackers on steroids, as the media likes to claim sometimes.
The vast
And it
majority of
seems like you
Anons
guys are
aren't
organized.
hackers.
Yeah.
The rest
They
are
really
not.
aren't.
No.
They're just people who want to go to a protest or want to like, hey, that's wrong.
They just think there's some shit's fucked up.
That needs
Yeah.
to change.
I can't hack into my own fucking Yahoo. What's it called? Fantasy League because I've forgotten the password. So like that would not be.
I can't
a
either.
threat.
I have no technical skills in that department.
But it's all part of it. It comes off as there's a group and an organized group who makes those video messages like we are
It's
anonymous.
Organized
we demand this.
chaos.
Yeah.
When they say we, I guess they mean like this is what people feel,
Yeah.
and not like the organization. You guys, yeah, you can't take money and like hire a fucking publicist, but
No.
maybe a fucking Kickstarter or something to get you guys an ad agency.
It just things like this.
See,
Yeah, this will help.
See where the road takes. It's like as the collective moves forward in the new year.
So now what could-
see what happens.
What could-
If journalists were really doing their fucking job, we wouldn't need a public relations agency or a
Yeah.
marketing
Yeah.
company.
They would just report on what's actually happening.
Yeah.
What would someone do if you had somebody hear this at home? Like, what would you have them, besides just knowing, oh, it's more to it than I thought it was? Is
If
there
you
action
decide
they
to
could take?
join, Google Anonymous Operation New Blood.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait, say that again. Operation New Blood?
Operation New Blood.
And then what is that? Go through a gauntlet to get in?
No, it's just informational guide to how to stay safe online.
Yeah.
How to
stay safe, like how to
stay
not to get
safe
caught?
at protests.
Operation New Blood.
Ari's writing this down.
I want to look at it. I'll put it up
he's
on
the
my
newest
website,
member.
too.
Newest member right here.
You guys are badass. Of course I want to be part of it. It sounds like it's not like, here's my problem. There was a...
And anybody who disagrees with something that a bunch of members of Anonymous are doing,
Yeah. They're allowed, like, dissent is welcome, right?
Yeah.
Just say, I don't think that's a problem.
jump in the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as you can make an intelligent argument on your side,
Instead of
people
fuck
will
you.
listen.
Yeah.
And if you're right, then do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like if we're gonna have a like how we were talking before, like if we're gonna have a conversation about the economy and you're gonna jump in and say someone's gonna save it, you gotta at least know who Ben Bernanke is.
Who? Yeah, right. Who? What?
Yeah, you got to have a pretty good understanding of what the fuck's going on to
Are-
present a possible solution.
Exactly.
Are anonymous people on these like boards or wherever you guys chat? Would you guys describe yourself as like, I don't know, pretty open minded, or just sort of like the same as most internet people, just like, dude, my point, I'm sticking to it no matter what.
I think they're really open minded. I think there's
Everybody's
some-
different,
yeah.
man.
Like,
Yeah,
everyone's
but there's
different,
tones.
but
There's tones to like a.
I think the collective as a whole maybe
well, like if I went in
more
there,
open minded than some other like groups.
Yeah.
But I think that the whole, like, the ego part of it,
Yeah.
like, don't have an ego, that's where some people go wrong because they start to have an ego, and then people notice it, and then they're just like, no.
And it's tough to fight that. There's some iconic things that have developed in the course of the past year and a half that, like, I don't know, were a certain person's idea, and I know who that person is.
Yeah.
But they get no credit for it as big as it's gotten now. Nobody knows that was that guy's idea.
Right.
And he doesn't say anything about it either.
Because he's cool. It's like, it's all right, it's the idea.
But natural instinct is like, man, you should be the guy, you know, because that's the way the rest of the world works.
That's how I feel about Shroom Fest. I started an International Mushroom Festival, and people are like, that's your festival? I was like, it's not my festival. I'm just the one who decided to, like, tell everybody to do it, but it's Mushrooms Festival.
There was actually
it's just an idea.
A kid who locally died this past summer. He got hit by a car and he died.
Yeah.
And a lot of the morale was really down. Like, in
what are the Anonymous members?
No, just this kid. Like, a few of my friends knew.
Oh, okay.
And so the morale was really down, like, around. And I and a few other Anons in the area got together and we made a video for that kid who had passed away because we all had agreed, yeah, this could be done. So we said some nice things, like how we really should not, like, dwell in the darkness, try and find the light, like, made a video. And someone came up to me, like, personally, not in my, not in a fox mask or anything, someone who knows me personally. They came up and were like, hey, did you have any part in that video? And I was just like, I wanted to say no at first, but because I personally knew them, I was just like, yeah, I did. Why? And they said, because that was really cool. I was like, well, you can't just thank me. Like, there was a lot of other people who went into this.
Yeah.
So it's like, it could be one, it could be 100 people.
Right. Man. It's a cool organization, but it's not really an organization. It's really just nature.
Yeah.
Man. I really like it. I mean, whatever you guys have told me, I really like the ideas where it's just like, it just moves where people want it to move. People's natural instinct is to do this. Just like our morality laws in this country. It's like, you know, women couldn't wear a bathing suit on the beach 60 years ago. And now it's like, Jesus, put something on. You know?
Whoa, are you wearing clothes? Or?
Yeah. That thing is
if we've opened the minds of any of your listeners and they're on Twitter, I encourage them to follow Your Anon News or Anony Ops or...
on Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter.
Anony Ops?
Anony Ops, Anon Ops, Your Anon News.
Engaged Media.
And those are things that just tell you know when someone's mobilizing or whatever is going on.
They're just accounts that have a larger number of followers.
Yeah.
And they're better about saying, okay, we're recognizing that a bunch of people are getting on board with this.
Yeah.
So now we'll put it out.
Right.
It's like
if it reaches
it's almost like a filter.
Right.
You know?
You don't have to hear about everything. I'll wait till it gets big and gets verified. Yeah. And that's why I followed it for like a little bit, or I looked at one of those. It was just like, here's something that happened. I think it was during the Assange situation.
Yeah.
Like, you should know this. And that's it. Mm-hmm. It's informational. And then it links you to, like, you know, newspaper reports or whatever.
Yeah.
And even if, I don't know, somebody's not interested in actually associating themselves or considering themselves to be a part of Anonymous, it's still a good place to get information to talk with members of Anonymous on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we know of a lot of shit going on that most people aren't talking about.
Don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard about Trapwire?
No.
You haven't heard your buddy Joe talk about that?
A lot of what he says I tune out at because he there's a way to talk about conspiracies or things going on that will, I'm trying to say this most even way, that will make some people lose interest.
I know what you're talking about.
Kind of like Alex Jones does.
Yeah, he's one, absolutely. Where it's a 9/11 truthers, they're like, well, what do you think this guy did? This 4 people all died early, and I'm like, I don't even know who those people are.
Yeah.
The first time I'm hearing about them is when you're telling me they all died of suspicious causes.
Yeah.
Trapwire
is tough to keep track.
Is a company that is also owned and operated and created by former CIA agents. And what they did is they came up with a computer program and the associated infrastructure to sell with the computer program.
Yeah.
You know, like they sell the computers and the cables and everything to install with the program.
Okay.
And
Sounds
they
like
tie it
fun.
into closed circuit television. Okay. Drive down the street. There's cameras on all the street lights.
Yeah.
Little
Those are
bubble
all tied
cams?
into this program called Trapwire now.
Yeah.
And they've sold it to major cities,
LAPD,
London, New York,
Is that
LA.
the one where they make No, it's not. Where they make a fake cell tower.
No. This is facial recognition software that's really fucking good at what it does.
Yeah.
To the point that
They just use random like bank cameras and stuff, or like church cameras, or
I don't
whatever's
think
there.
they're tied into so much the private cameras,
Yeah.
but all the
public ones.
public cameras.
Yeah.
The red light things.
Like those, like bubbles.
Just the
in-
traffic monitoring
Yeah.
cameras.
or like public schools cameras.
And so it'll record people on there.
It does facial recognition and tracking, and it can track the way you walk.
Yeah.
So even if you walk, once it knew who you were,
Yeah.
even if you put a mask on, it would still identify you because
Like
the way your
handwriting.
gait
Yeah.
is unique.
Wow.
and then
Gate. Good word.
say you follow a certain like you do certain stuff during your day, and you get up and you walk down like the street, and there's one of those cameras, and
Yeah.
like every day you have like a routine. That camera picks up your routine. So say one day you like break out of that routine, it kind of like goes off. You're out of the red lines,
Oh.
and they're just like, oh, what's that person doing? What's
Just
that
keeping
And
person?
now you're flagged.
It's just keeping tabs on all of us.
Or it recognizes people's body positions so that if you're at a place of interest, historical significance, or a court building, or a bank, or something of that nature, and you're
Yeah.
taking pictures, you're logged. Your face goes into a tracking system now
And now, why is this wrong?
because you're taking pictures of something that's considered suspicious terrorist activity.
Yeah.
No. Why is it wrong for them to log you and stuff? As he went here, he went there.
I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea that they have facial recognition software in all the camera
Knowing
systems.
where we all are all the time. It's like, what if I don't want anyone to know where I am?
And what that's also tied to then, and we haven't proved that it's tied to it yet, but it's probably tied to the NSA's Stellar Wind program.
Oh yeah.
What is
and-
that?
A guy named William Binney, or Biney, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, old guy that was a NSA code breaker, wrote a software program that was intended to be used on foreign countries and terrorist organizations and whatnot. And basically it would tie together different domains of spying. So instead of your phone record and your emails and all of that stuff being separate,
Yeah.
this program tracks it all and ties it all together.
Oh,
Well, William Biney came out to the public and blew the whistle on the NSA because they took his program and turned it on the American citizens.
oh.
All of us, and they're building a massive data
And so that's how
center
you find
in
out
Utah
about
to
it?
hold
Because
all.
this guy says
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
and then you look into it.
Yeah.
They're
And
building a massive data center to hold all this information,
it's supposed to be
In
the
Utah.
world's top secret, but now everyone knows about
and
it.
he just said it. What do you guys, is Anonymous that you know of doing anything about Monsanto?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've shut down Monsanto's websites and defaced them a couple of times,
Yeah.
I think. In fact, I think the website was down today.
Yeah.
Deface them? What does deface them? That's
Take-
putting up a fuck you and putting up
Yeah.
fuck the
Yeah,
police.
putting
Yeah.
up your own message.
Just taking it down is making it black.
Defacing is
It's like
what it
all
is.
right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Monsanto is the devil.
That's a deep conversation
Yeah.
to get into.
It's a separate one, yeah.
That's a rabbit hole.
That is a very big rabbit.
So you guys just pick these things and then just like, here's the information. So here's what I was going to ask about people being open and stuff. Like, let's say I would go into a message board like this and say, no, Obama's going to fix the economy, just like you said. And you would be like, or anybody would be like, do you even know who Ben Bernanke is? Are people usually willing to be like, no, I don't, tell me who it is? Or are people like, fuck you, don't tell me I'm wrong?
It depends.
It depends.
Obviously on the individual.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the
Some
same. You
Like
would think
me
the same as
personally,
anywhere?
if I saw you post that, I would say, explain how.
Okay, but there's two websites for the message boards for mixed martial arts. There's the Underground, and there is MMA.tv. That might be the Underground as well. There's two different things, whatever it is. One of them is pretty pleasant. They talk about stuff, and people are idiots, but it's fine. The other one is just hatred. It's just hatred all over. You say anything like, fuck you. It's like 80 people saying, fuck you.
That,
My point
that
is-
hasn't been my
My
experience
point is, there's an
with
overall
Anonymous.
there's an
no.
overall tone. So on site, would you think that one's more open or more closed or just the same as everywhere?
Yeah. I'd say it's more.
Generally, it's my perception is that it's more open.
Yeah.
Than usual.
Yeah.
But that can quickly change.
Yeah.
You know, all it takes is one person.
Yeah,
and then
somebody else fights back, and then
other people come to that person's defense, and you know, that stuff is like a snowball chain reaction.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing about the internet.
Yeah, like you could put out like you said, you could put out a question or like a statement like, I think Obama's going to save the economy, save America, whichever, and someone could either come back and be like, hey, fuck you, buddy, or someone could come back and be like, hey, do you know what's going on?
Right. Could Anonymous fuck with the election?
I think that's been talked about.
What?
I think that's been spoken of. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't really comment on that. I mean, it's been proven that some of the electronic voting machines, or all of them,
rigged?
Can be hacked into.
Yeah, that's the thing I've heard, basically.
But
I can see you guys making Donald Duck get elected president.
I think that can only be done by the people who already have access to the network. Because I don't think it's part of the public network.
Yeah.
Oh, right. What is this private network? It's a government network that no one can get on? It's an enclosed network?
It just means that unless you know where it is, you can't find it. It's not searchable.
Yeah.
Like that lump on my balls. You have to pretty much know where to look. It'll be there all day.
Exactly.
Or the dark spaces of the internet. It's like...
It's like, okay, so say there's a website where as soon as you go to it, it asks you for your login and your password.
Yeah.
And then once you get past that, there's all sorts of crazy cool information. None of that can be searched by Google because Google doesn't have a login and a password.
Yeah.
Oh.
So a search engine doesn't pick any of that up.
Right. So it's dark to Google.
Yeah.
They call it the darknet.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, you guys are cool. I'm going to look at this shit. What is it? Operation New Blood. And what does that do? What am I supposed to expect there? Do I have to post porn like on the Rogan board used to be?
No. It wouldn't be a board that like you can reply to or anything. I think there's an Op New Blood channel in IRC where you can ask questions and shit. But if you just Google Anonymous Op New Blood or Operation New Blood,
there may even be a video.
It's just going to be text files of explaining information, how things work, what different things are, how to stay anonymous on the internet, how to use Tor.
Yeah.
How to use what?
Tor. The onion router. That's what it's. Tor, T-O-R, the onion router. It's the same. It keeps you anonymous online because it shoots your location all over the place. So if someone looking at where you're accessing Google could think you're in Denmark.
Yeah. I was getting all these things from
we use it to help people who are in countries where their government
shuts
down or censors the internet.
It's you have ways around that.
Yeah, if you're running Tor, you can go around it.
Because it routes it back around the Earth, finds another open spot.
It bounces your signal through everybody else using
the Internet
Tor.
or whatever they call it, where it's like the exact amount of the internet. There's another thing which is all the dark shit.
Yeah. The darknet is way bigger than the surface of the internet.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's all just
what comes up what
pedophilia.
is searchable through Google is like dragging a fishnet just across the top of the ocean.
Right.
Yeah. The darknet, there's crazy stuff. Like one of my buddies actually, I just told.
And that's all password protected stuff, like you said. Like it won't come up.
Yeah, you got to go through a login to get to it usually.
Like there's stuff on the darknet to buy a hired hitman. My buddy just told me this the other day.
We should talk about the Silk Road.
Oh yeah, and then there's the Silk Road.
Okay, so Tor makes it so that your signal is bounced through everybody else using Tor. Okay, and it's encrypted.
Yeah. It's all encrypted, so it's like you can't look and be like, oh, there they are. It's like,
yeah, you can see traffic happening, but you can't tell what it is.
Okay.
Now, there are websites that you can only access if you're using Tor. One of those is the Silk Road. Now, you cannot type in www.silkroad.com and get anything.
Nothing comes up.
Really?
And if you're not using this Tor program, even once you find what the web address is for the Silk Road, which is some crazy string of letters and numbers that makes no sense, you put that in your web browser. If you're not running Tor, it'll say, you're not running Tor, fuck off.
Oh, wow.
But if you are running Tor, you can buy drugs online.
Oh.
Like anything.
Yeah.
You can buy You can buy a kilo of cocaine.
What,
you can buy DMT. You can buy
Really? I've been
acid.
looking for
You can buy
some.
ecstasy. You can buy anything.
How do you get on tour?
You just download it.
It's a program.
Yeah, TOR, the Onion router.
Well, I love
And
drugs.
it
I'm gonna
loads
write
a
this.
special version of Mozilla Firefox onto your computer.
Really?
And when you click on this little onion symbol on your desktop, it'll load up Tor and load up Firefox.
Whoa.
And if there's ever a time where, I don't know, like I started using Tor when things started going crazy in Tunisia.
Yeah.
And the reason is because the government was censoring their internet. And the more people who are using Tor, the faster and easier it is for them to get around their censorship. Because it has to run through other people using Tor.
So aren't we using a censored internet then?
No.
Without Tor? I mean, aren't I using an internet that's...
No, because the Silk Road is just saying, unless you're protecting yourself, we don't want you on our website.
Oh, right.
It's for your own good.
Yeah, because, I mean, the feds haven't even been able to shut down the Silk Road.
If you're even mildly computer savvy, you can Google Tor and the Silk Road and figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Okay, I'm mildly savvy. That's what I am. I would say I'm mildly... I can help an old person get online. But that's about it.
Yeah.
And they can help me check my oil.
As long as you're not still downloading this podcast through an AOL connection, you should be able to figure out how to use Tor and find the Silk Road, and you will be amazed.
That's one of my favorite jokes.
The complicated part will be figuring out how to get bitcoins and be able to
gosh.
purchase drugs.
Oh, you can't just use a credit card.
No, you have to use bitcoins.
Oh, which is like fun bucks.
Kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
It's an untrackable currency.
So it's like an unmarked. It's like your VIN number is wiped off or something. It's like just here's coins and just nothing. It represents dollars.
Yeah.
How do you get those?
Well, okay, here's one way I know of.
Yeah.
There's a guy that okay, you can go to a bank and make a deposit under $1,000.
Yeah.
And nobody asks you any questions. Like
Okay.
you can go to my bank and deposit money in my account, and
Under $1,000.
nobody asks you anything.
Yeah, I always think it's weird when they're like, we need your ID. And like, why? I'm putting money in. What am I? What if I wasn't him? What's the problem? I'm putting money into his account.
Most banks, you don't need to show ID to deposit money. And so there's a couple of different guys that just say, this is my bank account number, this is the bank. Send me a message stating how much you're depositing. And you want to make it something unique, so like $997.16.
Yeah.
You know, so that it doesn't get confused with anybody else's.
Yeah.
Once that comes in, he then transfers bitcoins to your Bitcoin
Takes
account.
a percentage for his troubles.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a percentage of all.
That's okay.
Blah blah blah.
I don't care if it's sweet
It's not
drugs are
something
involved.
I
I'll do it.
but I looked into it one time because I thought it was crazy.
And how do you find that guy? Just looking.
Just look.
Yeah.
Man, it'd be so much easier. I'm trying to find mushrooms now, and I can't find anything. The guy I know doesn't. It's like between grows or something. It's so fucking frustrating.
Yeah, that place is crazy.
I've never ordered anything, but I've read reviews.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people are like, the packaging is amazing.
The packaging.
Yeah, because you're gonna get sent something else, whether it be a teddy bear or a package with a bunch of documents in it that just like talk about nothing, and it's gonna look like a business to business mail.
And then a sheet of acid in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has to go through the mail.
Yeah.
So they have to. Wow.
They'll give you a tracking number so you can track your package and shit.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
And this has nothing to do with Anonymous. This is just cool internet stuff.
Yeah,
or you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
use that to get
This is
information.
just cool.
This is just cool internet shit.
Yeah.
That people should know about because I
Yeah,
think
they
it's fucking
should.
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because I mean, you find that long letter number web address. You click it when you have Tor up and running. Website comes up. You take a few seconds to become a member of that website.
Yeah.
And it's free, obviously. And then you get to look at the menu.
Man.
And Silk Road isn't just for drugs. There's people selling T-shirts and all sorts of shit on there.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds really boring.
Yeah.
That doesn't
I'm
sound
sure,
exciting
you know.
at all. Yeah, I guess you're right.
I think they took down the weapons part of it.
Yeah,
weapons,
the
you can buy
armory's
weapons?
gone.
Yeah, there was an armory on there.
How did they take it
was
down?
like
Why did they take it down?
Well, no. The armory themselves decided to shut down.
Oh yeah, it was a separate entity, but it was
It was basically like you could buy anything you wanted: guns, rocket launchers,
Wow.
armored helicopters.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. Like, how do you find a guy to do hitman shit? How do you?
I think it was somebody at Wired
Yeah.
Online magazine
Yeah.
Wired. They did an investigation into this Armory website.
Yeah.
And it's just like that movie, Lord of Guns or whatever.
Yeah.
What was that Nicolas Cage movie?
Oh,
I never saw
Lord
it.
of War.
Lord of War.
Yeah. And
Lords of War.
basically the Wired guy went into it pretending to be someone who was with an organization that was trying to overthrow a government.
Wow.
And they were like, yeah, we can help you.
Yeah, those people get it from somewhere. If you have
Yeah.
the funds, people are willing to sell you stuff. But
Yeah.
then it's like, how would you even buy it if I had the funds?
And then once his investigation was complete, he called the FBI, told them, explained it exactly like we just did.
Yeah.
You have to use this special program to get there. It's this hidden shit, blah, blah, blah. I need you guys to check into this, and I want to know what you find.
Yeah.
And they came back and were like, well, we found the Armory, and it appears to be a law-abiding gun seller in Virginia or South Carolina. Or
Really?
Like, they did not follow directions. They have no idea what the fuck this guy was talking about.
They just Googled.
Yeah, they just Googled the Armory, and it came back as a gun store in
Wow.
South Carolina, and they
Man,
went and checked it
criminals
out, and were
are
like, yeah, it seems legit.
Criminals are so lucky that police are not trained, or they're just people too, and they're like, I don't want to do it. I'm done with my shift in an hour. This is going to take 10 hours. And
Or
they
he just didn't understand what that guy was saying.
Yeah.
When he started talking about Tor,
He was trained 20 years ago.
anonymizing,
I don't know what
and
this is.
he just
He was like,
his eyes
barely
glassed
type.
over.
Yeah.
What were you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I'll get back to you. Yeah, wow. Oh, cool. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
No problem.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah, that was great. That was great. I
We
think that was
maybe
really informative.
influenced and changed some people's minds about what's going on. And
I'm
and
going
what-
to that Operation New Blood. I'll tell you that. I'll go check it out. I'm interested in this. You guys got a bad rap. You're not portrayed the way you are.
We're regular people.
Yeah. With Guy Fawkes masks. How much do those masks cost?
$4.99.
Yeah.
It's out of my price range, but maybe I'll steal one from somebody. Yeah, rad. Okay. You want to say your Twitter address again?
It's just at @star_Fox.
At @star_Fox. And then what? Your Anon News is a good one.
Your Anon News is good. Anoniops. Engage DA Media. Like
Find out about the shit.
Engage Media.
Anonymous doesn't have a website, huh?
We have all the websites.
Yeah. all your sites belong to us. All your internets belong to us.
Where does that come from? All your whats belong to us?
All your internets belong to us.
It started out as all your base are.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
All your base belong
All
to
your
who's that?
base belong to
KRS-One or
us.
something?
I don't remember where it came from. It's funny as fuck though.
Yeah. All right, rad. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
I really appreciate it. Make sure to get my album Revenge for the Holocaust at iTunes now. Thanks, guys. Oh, okay. There it is. That's the episode, everybody, in the books. Man, what a good one. Super fucking informative, right? I don't know if you learned something. Hopefully you did. I know I did. I know I learned something. I'm changed, man. I'm converted. I've seen the light on this shit. Please share this episode with each other. Talk about it, seriously. And also, don't forget, my album, Revenge for the Holocaust, is on iTunes right now. It's Yom Kippur, so that means Revenge for the Holocaust is out. Please, everyone, go pick it up, and please, seriously, share it with each other. Really send out Twitter messages about it. Put out Facebook posts about it. If you're on MySpace, kill yourself. But really get the word out as much as you can. It would really, really help me. And honestly, don't lie. Just say how you feel, but just don't keep it in. Let it out. Revenge for the Holocaust. It's on iTunes now. Please pick it up. I really think everybody's going to enjoy it. Fucking let me know how you feel. Thank you guys very much for listening. Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, episode 79, part B. We are anonymous. Over and out.